How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Patriot DIY channel. In this video, we're doing a long overdue shop tour. All right, guys, I have been crazy busy lately, but I finally got a break and I thought now would be the perfect time to do a shop tour. Not to mention, I just got done cleaning up the shop after a couple big projects and it's as clean as it's been in weeks. So now seemed like the time. Now this is gonna be the first shop tour we've done on our channel. We're gonna be doing a shop tour video once a year going forward, just to show you guys the progress, the upgrades that we do over time. Like most of you, my shop is a work in progress. There is still a ton of stuff that I want to get done in here, a lot of projects coming up in the future, and all of that is going to be right here on the Patriot DIY channel. So before we get any further, if you haven't done it yet, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. That really helps us out. As we're going along in the video, you're going to be seeing a ton of stuff that we've already done videos on this channel. So as we're going along, if you see something you want to know more about, just go back into our video log and you'll see all of our projects listed there. And I'm also going to be hinting at some of those future plans so you can see what kind of videos we're going to have coming up in the future. Now, let's get started. First, we're going to talk about the shop itself. So obviously this is a metal shop on a concrete slab. The main section of the shop here in the middle is 30 by 40 feet. And if you look here behind me on the other side, I have an enclosed area here that's going to be 12 foot by 35 foot. And that kind of just makes a side room off the side of the shop, which comes in really handy, and you'll guys see that in just a second. Over on the other side, I do have an open lean-to. It's the same dimensions, 12 by 35. And that's mostly where we just park things like the golf cart, the lawnmower, four-wheelers, and we're also going to keep all the yard tools and stuff under there. The side walls of the shop are 12 foot, and that's going to put our peak right around 15, 16 feet. Here on the front, we have a large 8 by 10 roll-up door, and around the corner there under the lean-to is our walk-in door. So let's get in there and check out the inside. Let's go see where the magic happens. All right, guys, we are inside the main part of the shop, and what you see behind me here is probably what most of you guys are used to. That is our woodworking area of the shop. But this is not just a woodworking shop. This is an everything shop. This is where we hang out. This is where we have parties. If I need to work on my truck, all that happens right in here. So there's a lot more going on than just a woodworking shop. So we will get over to the woodworking stuff. You're gonna see all the tools and how everything's set up and everything like that. But first, we're going to take a tour around the rest of the shop and show you what else we got going on in here. Let's get to it. All right, this is the door we walked in right here, guys, and right here to the right is something you might recognize. We did a video a few months back building these storage shelves. Now, I've modified it a little bit to go around this window here where we decided to put it. Nothing really special going on right here, guys. This is just storage. This is where I keep my leaf blower, my chainsaw. I have a small air compressor down here and a bunch of other just random stuff. Moving on over to this corner here, this is another work in progress. I am going to be building some more storage over here, but for now we have our Husky storage cabinet. This is mostly finishing stuff, paints, stains, brushes, plastic wrap, tapes, and all of that good stuff. It's not super organized, but everything is in there. This is where I'm gonna have a lot of smaller projects that are either in progress or waiting to be shipped out. And one thing you'll notice, guys, is that everything in my shop is on wheels. This cart's on wheels, the cabinet's on wheels, the other storage shelves you saw, everything in this shop is on wheels, so it can all be moved around anytime I need to. All right, guys, now this wall behind me is something that I am very proud of. I love the way this turned out. Now, I've mentioned in past videos that over here on this side of the shop and in this side room is going to be more of a hangout spot. I'm going to be building out that room with a bar, a poker table, and stuff like that. And kind of the look that I'm going for here is an old saloon. I videoed everything along the process so you can go and check it all out if you're interested in doing something like that for yourself. All right guys, so this is how I incorporated that enclosed lean-to that you guys saw at the beginning. We just have a large 18-foot opening here that opens up to our side room. So let's do a quick walkthrough and I'll show you some of the stuff that we got going on. Now I know a lot of you guys have a shop that's dual purpose too, whether it be your 2-car garage or something like that. And one thing I came up with that thought was a great idea is a curtain. So when I'm working on woodworking stuff, I can close the curtain and completely close off that room to keep the sawdust and everything out of that room and try to keep stuff clean. Now coming on around here is my shop fridge because I think every shop should have a fridge. And of course it's covered in stickers because what grown man doesn't love stickers? I think my favorite sticker here would have to be the PatriotDIY sticker right there. If you guys are interested in getting one of those for yourself on the Etsy page, I'll have a link to it right in the description. Inside the fridge, we got typical stuff, juices for the kids, waters, Gatorades, and my new beer of choice, Yuengling Flight. Go ahead and put that right here. But over here on this wall beside the fridge, I will be building a bank of cabinets. We'll have shelves up here for whiskey and stuff like that. It's gonna be a fun project, and that's gonna be coming up on the channel pretty soon. And again, guys, this room is mostly unfinished. I still need to finish the walls and all that stuff. Of course, I'll be videoing all of it. But right here under this hanging down light is where we're gonna be building our bar. So that'll be a fun project. And of course, every shop needs a TV and a sound system. Now right now, again, it's just on a table. This will all get mounted up on the wall. And one of the best things I've ever done in my shop was install this Mr. Cool mini split system. This thing has been a game changer, guys, especially on these hot summer days, keeping it nice and cool and comfortable in here. Again, I have done a full video on the install of this system, so make sure you go and check that out. You probably also noticed that over here is my very embarrassing plywood storage. So right now I don't have a designated spot for my plywood. This is just where it ended up because that's where it fit. So any sheet goods that come into the shop that I'm not going to be working on immediately are going to end up here in this stack. And nothing real interesting here on the back side of this room, guys. Just got the couch here, ping pong table, and back behind there is a bunch of antiques and signs and stuff that's going to be going on the walls here once this room is finished. Now coming around out of that side room, guys, this is the shop bathroom. And of course, we're back around to my reclaimed wood wall here. And this is where I like to display a bunch of old antique tools and stuff like this hand plane from the 1800s. I think stuff like that is very cool. Bunch of old saws up there. And while it is just a bathroom, we'll take a look at it anyway. Again, guys, nothing too special here. This is just a bathroom and some storage back here. You can see I built some storage shelves that just hold cleaning supplies and that kind of stuff. A couple things to note that you might have seen on the channel. This is the mirror frame that we built, shelves up here on the wall. And what I really wanted to mention was the first aid kit here, guys. Now, every wood shop needs a good comprehensive first aid kit. Anytime you're working around dangerous tools, it is very important that you have adequate first aid. You can see I have a tourniquet here mounted on the outside, so it's really quick and easy to get to. That's very important. If you guys don't have a tourniquet in your wood shop, you need to get one. Here inside the first aid kit is mostly just your regular first aid stuff, but it is important that you have that. All right, guys, moving around to the back wall here. Now you can see my very large, very embarrassing, ugly scrap wood pile. This thing grows every day and it's getting out of control and I got to do something about it. But don't worry, guys, it's going to benefit you too because we're going to be building a scrap wood cart that's going to house most of this stuff, the plywood and everything else. And so that's another project that you can expect to see on the channel, hopefully pretty soon. But for now, this is where all the scrap wood lives. Over here we have our wood stove. I love this thing. I think it looks great for one, but it also does a great job of keeping the shop nice and warm in those really cold winter months. And it also has the added benefit of any small scraps and stuff from projects that I'm not going to be saving. I can toss it into the wood stove and use it as fuel. Now the part that most of you are here to see. Now we have finally got to the woodworking side of the shop. Now this is stuff that you guys have probably seen in my videos, but we've never gone too in depth into the whole thing as a whole. So let's do that right now. First, up here above my head, I have my adjustable lumber storage rack. Now let's move in and get over to this workbench. So this is a little bit of a mess, but it's a functional mess, if you know what I'm talking about. And a lot of you guys probably do. But let me show you what we got going on here. So this is an old workbench that I built years ago that I just brought here into the shop to hold stuff for now. Of course, I am going to be upgrading this and building out a new workbench here on the channel. You can see right here, just leaned up against the wall. Those are the tracks for my Wind track saw. And then I have this very old Sears Craftsman drill press here. It's nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. As you can see, we have a dust collection drop that comes down to service this. And of course, we have another drop there that's going to service our rigid belt and spindle sander. I love this tool. Moving on down, just a generic Porter cable bench grinder and a bunch of hardware. Now right now this is my hardware solution. I just keep it all in the boxes and it all gets stored right here. I know it's a mess. I know there are some of you guys that are looking at this and you're freaking out right now. But there's probably some of you guys that are like, yeah, that's what my shop looks like too. So I'm not ashamed of it. It is what it is. And of course, that's going to be a future project where we're going to solve the problem of our hardware storage. Going on down, just where we keep most of our hand power tools, router, angle grinder, nail guns, jigsaws, track saws, belt sander, circular saw, all that good stuff lives right there for now until we come up with a better solution. Now moving on to this guy. Now, one of the most popular videos here on the channel has been my video on the dust collection system. Now, this is all built around a Harbor Freight dust collector, and we built it out with this big two-stage system, and this is what feeds my entire shop's dust collection. This thing is awesome. It really gets the job done. If you haven't seen the video, guys, you really should go check it out, because just like the Mr. Cool over there, this is one of the best things that I've done in my shop so far. I have some of the dust collection tools here that go with this long hose. I can reach anywhere in the woodworking side of the shop with this hose. Everything else is plumbed up and around the shop to all the tools, and you'll see that here in just a minute. You can see here, guys, that the ducting for the dust collector goes up here. We have one chute that comes across here and down to feed these tools. We have another chute that comes out. This one goes down to feed our miter station. And we're going to come on down and then again to our floor sweep. Now, backing on up here, you'll see a newer project from the channel. This is the flip-top planer and jointer cart that we just built. In the future, when we rebuild that bench there, this is designed so that it will roll up underneath that workbench and out of the way so it's not taking up space on the floor when we're not using these tools. But just real quick to show you how this works, you have a nice flat work surface, and then when you need your planer, you just flip the top, and there she is. Now moving on here to my assembly table, outfeed table. This has really become the centerpiece of my shop. I love this thing. It is massive. It is a full 4-foot by 8-foot assembly table. We do have T-track routed all the way around the perimeter of the table, so we can use that for clamps and stuff like that. Now, like I said, this is also my outfeed table for my table saw. Now, you'll notice I do not have my large dust collection plumbed into this because I didn't want any large drops coming from the ceiling or hoses run across the floor or anything like that. So when this is finished, it will have integrated dust collection, and I'll show you what my solution is right now. So this is the setup we're working with right now. We have a Bauer 16-gallon shop vac and the Dust Right dust separator. That thing is awesome. So those two paired together do a great job of collecting all the dust from the table saw. The table saw that I'm using here, guys, is the Skill 10-inch job site table saw For what it is, this thing is awesome. I do plan on upgrading here soon, so stay tuned for that. Now, one thing I do want to note is since I've built the new assembly table here, this saw was a little too short. So all I did to remedy that temporarily is just to build a platform here for the saw to sit on, and it's worked out great. All right, now this is the view most of you guys are used to seeing here in the shop. Back here behind me is my huge 15-foot French cleat wall, and it's not much on there. Honestly, guys, I built this and I've just been so busy with other projects that I haven't had much time to build tool holders and stuff for the French cleat wall. We do have our clamp racks here. I've done a full video on how to build those clamp racks if you're interested in that. Also keep my Craig 720 Pro here. This just built a small little hanger for that to hang on, and a nice backer board that makes it really easy to move this thing around and hang it. Also have a pretty cool little paper towel holder, and that's really it for now. Now, let's look at the miter station. This is my massive 15-foot long miter station. We have an 8-foot section of bench here on this side, 5 foot on this side, and of course the Cobalt miter saw here in the middle. Now let's get a little closer and we'll work our way down and talk a little bit about that. All right, first thing I want to point out to you guys here is the dust collection. We have a drop for the dust collection coming down here, and that's going down underneath the miter station over to the miter saw. Now down here on this end of the bench, this is charging station. Okay, everything just sits here on top of the miter station, all of my battery chargers and everything like that. Now again, I will be building a drill charging station and hangers for all of my hand tools and stuff like that. And that's gonna hang here on the French cleat wall. Just haven't done it yet. One of my next favorite things that I've done here in the shop is the T-track and tape measure here on my miter station. So I have stop blocks that I can slide up and down the T-track, and we have an integrated tape measure. So when I need to chop stuff down on the miter saw, I do not have to measure it first. All I have to do is move the stop block to where I want it on the miter station, lock it down, and I know that when I put that board up here and I make that cut, it is going to be exactly what I want it to be. Moving on down, guys, is my Cobalt 10-inch sliding miter saw. This is the very first tool that I had in this shop. This thing has got the job done for a long time. You guys can see we also had a project where we improved the dust collection by adding this dust collection box here underneath it. Down here on the other end of the miter saw station, this is where I keep a lot of my push blocks and stuff like that for the table saw, which is right here. I also have most of my router bits here in this case, as well as a few others here on the workbench. This is also where I keep my dado stack for the table saw, so all of that is right here, and it just sits here on top of the miter station. Nothing super fancy, but again, just like with the big assembly table, I am going to be putting in cabinets and drawers and stuff into the miter station. Now those of you guys that have been following us for a while, I know I've been saying that for a long time and I still have not done it, but I promise it is coming. But until that happens, for now, I can still store things under here. You can see I have my tabletop skill router table there, toolboxes for the kids, a jig for making those American flags, a rolling stool because nobody likes working on their knees. I have my Win biscuit joiner, bench vise that I haven't mounted anywhere yet, some parts for upcoming projects, circle cutting jig, and a bucket full of random hardware. Down here on the opposite end of the miter station is where I keep my bandsaw. This is another oldie but a goodie. This is an old Craftsman bandsaw. It's nothing too fancy, but it does get the job done. I have built a rolling cart for it so I can roll it out away from the wall to work with it. Again, we have our dust collection drop here with a blast gate that goes to service this tool. Down at the bottom is just somewhere else to stash stuff. So for right now, that's where a lot of my sanding pads and things like that. Again, I will be building a storage solution for all of my sanding pads, sanding belts, all that stuff that is going to be going up on the French cleat wall. And then down here beside that is just my big old Craftsman toolbox. This is kind of a catch-all for everything else. Up here, scissors, box cutters, scrapers, that kind of stuff. Tape measures, zip ties, Velcro, electrical stuff, so soldering iron, butt connectors, and anything you might need for doing light electrical work in that one. Screwdrivers of all types there. Pliers of all variations there. Moving on down, have a couple of junk drawers, primarily glue guns and files and stuff in that one. Some measuring tools and other things like that. Pencils, calculator, stuff like that. Then we get into some more mechanics tools, socket wrenches, sockets of all types, more wrenches, drill bits, brad nails, and all of these little bit sets and all of that stuff ends up in here. More drill bits, hole saw bits, some sanding pads and stuff there. And the bottom is just a catch-all with hammers and staple guns and stuff like that. And we are back where we started. Now looking up in the shop, we have our wind filtration system. We have fans up here and a bunch of cool patriotic flags and stuff like that, because this is the Patriot DIY channel and that's how we roll. All right guys, that is it for our shop tour. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Was this interesting to you guys, or did I bore the crap out of you? I don't know. Just let me know down in the comment section. I know a lot of you guys were most interested here on the woodworking side. The other side wasn't a ton to look at, but again, it is a work in progress. That is going to be the focus of a lot of upcoming videos as we finish out those walls, build those cabinets. We're going to build a bar, poker table, all of that stuff is coming up here on the channel. And a lot of other stuff that we mentioned. I kind of feel like I just walked around the shop and showed you stuff that I'm planning to do. I didn't really have a lot to show you, but let me know what you guys thought. I've really enjoyed having this space. I love doing this. I love building things and working on projects and doing things myself, and I love sharing that with you guys. I hope you're enjoying it too. We have a lot of good stuff coming up on the channel, so make sure you stay tuned. The best way you can support the channel, guys, is to use our links in the description. I put links to all the tools and all the stuff that we use. I also have an Etsy store where I have build plans for most of the projects that you've seen here in this video. I have a video on how to build it, so you can go check that out. And then I have digital plans that you can download on Etsy to build it for yourself. But this is my shop. Thanks for touring it with me. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.